Kenya film producers have been urged to do a thorough market research and create a business plan before creating a film. In an exclusive interview with the business reporter Brian Mwenda, the Kenya Film Commission Chief Executive Officer Timothy Owase has advised producers to treat film like any other business. Here is the interview.
On today's conversation, we have Timothy Owase, the Chief Executive Officer of Kenya Film Commission. Timothy, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you.
So, Timothy, before we can start this interview, we went to the streets asking Kenyans, do you watch Kenyan films? This is what they had to say.
Do you watch films?
Yeah, yes, I do. Yeah.
Do you watch Kenyan films?
Yeah, I do. I love them. Sometimes, not all the time.
Not really.
I don't watch them mostly because, you know, with Kenyan films, sometimes they're boring. You see, like Zora, I can say a year, a movie going for a year. We need something shorter.
The quality of the programs compared to the ones from Hollywood, they are quite low. The acting, it doesn't sound so real. It doesn't come out so real. Yeah, it comes out like it's an art, you know.
Now, one of the key issues, Kenyans are raising is the plot in making the film. They're also talking about location. They're also talking about the, you can see the budget that was allocated to this film was not so favorable to creating such a good story. What do you say about first the plot? What do you have to tell the producers?
For me, I would like to encourage producers to, first of all, get to understand who their audiences are. You cannot be able to produce a film for a known market. When you do your thorough research, get to know who your audience is and what they are looking for, then you can be able to come up with a proper plot that will be able to address what the audiences are looking for. The story matters, your audience matters, and also the budget and the cast and crew. Those are things that you cannot ignore when you are coming up with any given product.
Let's start off with the enabling environment. One of the key issues and big discussions in our conversation has been the cost of filmmaking in the industry. It's a little bit expensive for filmmakers. What do you have to say about that?
The government has put in place a draft film bill and policy, which shortly will be approved. And when this gets approved, I believe we'll have a proper environment for film production, which we are all yearning to see come to fruition. And of course, in this bill, we are talking about facilitating funding for industry production to address that issue of production in Kenya is expensive, enabling what we call co-productions. We would like to see Kenyan producers co-producing with their counterparts in Uganda, Tanzania, East African countries, and other European or African countries through co-production engagements. When we do this, we are basically expanding the market, while at the same time growing the scope of production. Other than just focusing on inward, the Kenyan market, we have to expand our scope to the East African, African, and even global market. That way we'll expand the scope of the marketing space and also grow those who can access our stories.
We compare ourselves to the likes of South Africa and Nigeria. What can get us to those heights that, we have corporate on our side? First, also asking the question, is corporate doing enough to come on board in the Kenya filmmaking industry?
Okay, when we talk about corporates, I think the most fundamental point here is, first of all, let us appreciate that film, just like any other venture, it's a business. And when you approach film production as a business, then you will be able to attract corporates. Corporates may not be 100% involved in production today, simply because of how maybe we have approached the art of filmmaking. We need to show business sense as far as corporates' involvement is concerned. There are so many banks in this country, telcos and others, that can be able to participate in the art of filmmaking.
We have seen less of animation content. We've seen less of action. We've seen less of we can say fiction movies. What is the commission doing to help filmmakers in the country also give us something that is not just more of drama, because you're used to drama?
Yes, Kenya Film Commission has various programs that are geared towards promoting production in the country. We are currently setting up what we call film hubs in counties. And the intention is to have facilities in counties that will be able to help producers at whichever level to access facilities that can help them produce whichever product, be it animation, gaming products, among others, features, documentaries, and so on.
Now, we're in the midst of a very grappling COVID-19 situation. You know, filmmakers and creative in the industry have also suffered big time. So what is the commission doing to help them, you know, overcome COVID strain and also continue with the good job they do?
The president was able to put out 100 million shillings for artists, but of course that was for the entire sector. Artists, be it stand-up comedians and all that. Out of the 100 million shillings, we got a share of it, and we were able to do distribution to the film industry. Of course, 100 million shillings was not sufficient to take care of each and every individual, but we were able to come up with a criteria where we reached various artists in 33 counties.
How can I, like an aspiring, you know, filmmaker, seated in my bedsitter somewhere, I want to create a film, I have an idea. How do I access funding from the commission?
Okay, the commission, basically, for you to access the empowerment program, we normally send out a call. This is a very structured process. Every year, during the second quarter, we send out a call for all Kenyans who meet the criteria that we have published, can be able to apply, go through the process, and if your storyline, your business proposal meets the criteria, then you can be able to access the funding.
We will talk about Netflix, we'll talk about, you know, Showmax. You know, South Africa is doing so good. When you talk about Nigeria, the same thing. Kenya is a little bit, you know, trying to get there. What are you doing to help us, you know, also get the heights of South Africa and Nigeria?
You know, when you say Nigeria and South Africa are doing so good, again, that is relative. I don't know what are we using to measure that.
We will talk about the number of films, South African films in these platforms, compared to the Kenyan films.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's, I think, a very good question. When you talk about the number of films, Kenyan films on Netflix, for example, you'll find that we have about 5 films currently running on Netflix. And remember, that is happening before Netflix actually puts its foot into this country. We are hoping that in the near future, Netflix will be coming to Kenya, and that Kenyan producers will be engaged and more Kenyan content will be on that platform. Of course, our strategy is to continue encouraging Kenyan producers to be prepared for these platforms, produce content that meet their expectations. There are those parameters. There is what Netflix is looking for, and there is what Showmax is looking for. If we can be able to prepare well, tell our stories proper, meet those specifications, then I believe we'll have as many products on those platforms as possible. Yes.
Fair enough. Let me take you way back to when we have very strong drive-in cinemas. We have drive-in in Thika Road, we have Bellevue in South Sea. How was the picture like?
Well, it's good that you brought up the issue of drive-in cinemas.
Yes.
I think that's a business opportunity today, and I'm challenging businessmen out there that this is an area that has not been taken up. It has a huge potential.
Were you fortunate enough to watch one of the movies in those drive-in?
Yes, I
cinemas?
did.
Yeah.
I did.
How was the picture? Paint the picture to us.
Of course, even today, I'll base my experience on what we have done at here in Nairobi, Uhuru Park, as well as Galleria Mall. We have had drive-in cinema experience launched this year, and the experience was amazing.
We have seen legendary actors in the Kenyan film industry come back to us, Kenyans, to ask for financial support. And of course, it's not so much of a good picture. We'll also want to say that goes to the spending habits and saving habits. You know, what can the commission do actually to help, you know, educate the actors on the saving and spending culture?
Thank you. When it comes to the issue of actors, I would advocate for various film guilds and associations to get organized so that when actors are championing their rights are actually safeguarded through those guilds. If we had a very strong actors guild, then the guild will be their number one advocate as far as championing for their rights is concerned, negotiating for their pay, negotiating for their welfare as far as health, insurance, and all other aspects when they are on set.
Thank you, Timothy, for the conversation. Indeed, for you, it's all about all stakeholders pulling together to make sure that the industry grows. My name is Brian Munda, and this is Switch TV.